I'm Macy Hyder. Today I'm going to be simulating a teacher-teacher conference with Caleb Miner. We're going to be discussing a potential or a student behavior problem in my classroom that has been occurring.
How are you, Miss Hyder?
Good. How are you, Mr. Miner?
I'm good.
Thank you for joining me today.
No problem. How are your dogs doing?
They're doing great. How are your kids?
They're good. They're good.
So I know I've been doing a little research on Billy. I got his schedule, that's why I called this meeting. He's one of my favorite students. I love having him in class, and I saw that you had him in your third period.
Oh yeah, I love having them in my class.
So recently Billy's been late to my class really frequently. I didn't know if you've had this problem in your classroom with him.
No. How long has this been occurring? Because he's never late to my class.
Well, I've been kind of keeping record of it. He's been late 25 out of the past 30 days of the semester.
Oh wow.
So that's kind of a big deal. It's really kind of starting to affect my class, and when he comes in late, it's really affecting my students. They get off task, and kind of makes me get off task because I have to recognize him that he's coming in, and he always has some questions because he's getting behind.
Well, that is really strange. What period do you have him in? Because in my third period class, he seems to always be on time.
I have him first period, so I'm really not sure what the issue is behind the problem.
Well, it could either be, it could be something that he's doing, or it may be something that, a little more behind the scenes, like parent involvement or something like that. So, have you had any other types of problems out of him behavior-wise once he's in class?
Once he's in class, he's fine, but again, he's always asking questions because he missed that initial first 10-15 minutes of class where I go over the objectives and what we're going to be doing in class that day. And it is a resource class, so I do only have a limited time with him, so those instruction time is very important.
Okay. And I'm sure that when he's walking in, it's very disruptive to your flow of things, how you're getting going.
Yes. Have you ever had any issues like this in the past with any of your students with being late?
Well, I have a tardy policy in place in my class, so usually if there is a reoccurring issue, it's usually my tardy policy kind of eliminates it because nobody wants detention.
Yeah, I have a tardy policy in my class, but it's just really not seems to work with him. I've sent him to detention and he's talked to the principal before, but we still haven't come to any conclusion as to why he's being late.
Okay. Well, I know I've tried this in my class because I know I have kids that they can't help to show up late because they're in other classes that kind of overlap with mine. But I tried rearranging my classroom setting to where the student who is coming in late, they're more towards the back of the room, so it's not not as big a distraction for my other students.
Okay, so whenever he comes into the classroom, you're going to have him set either near the door or towards the back of the room so he can just quietly come in and just get his things out and start with the instruction that's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, you could try maybe, because like what we were talking about earlier, it's more like maybe a behind-the-scenes thing because he's not late to my class, but he's late to yours. Maybe set up a parent-teacher conference possibly and kind of get more in-depth details of what.
Have you had any experiences with a parent-teacher conference before? I know in the past I've met with parents and just learning from them, because sometimes with Billy, and whenever I ask him, he's always like, I don't know why I'm late, or doesn't really want to give me any information. And I know that when I've had parent-teacher conferences in the past, it's really given me a lot of insight. So have you had similar experiences? Or
I know one thing that I would suggest is when you go about the process to set it up, don't make it seem as if it's a major problem. Like you don't want to put them on edge about anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Just inform them what's going on and just try to make it to where it's like just a one-on-one situation where it's not really a problem. Just make them as comfortable as possible.
Okay. And then I've also thought about maybe modeling the behavior, like the desired behavior of being on time. Because I know with my other students, I try to start class on time, like I said before, and really get them engaged and make that first 10-15 minutes crucial for their instruction, because that's when I would tell them their objectives, what we're going to be doing today. They're having a chance to ask me any questions before class starts, like over homework or upcoming assignments. And I feel like Billy's really missing out on that. I just don't know if modeling behavior will be the best way about it to go with it for him, because he's not there for me to model it all the time.
Well, that could be something that you can maybe implement into the the conference or like a one-on-one meeting with Billy, kind of explain to him how, you know, important showing up on time is, and, you know, that with him showing up late, he's missing crucial details that really gets your lesson plan going.
Okay, so I think that, so you think that like letting Billy know that it's his responsibility to let me know that if there's a legitimate reason behind him being late, that he needs to let me know that, because if not, he's going to keep getting these like detentions and against his for my tardy policy.
Yeah, you don't want it to where it affects him in other areas, such as like his, you know, his grades and things like that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to mark him down for being late, but it seems to be becoming a very serious issue, and he's getting behind on his assignments because he doesn't really know like where we're at in class.
Especially if it's something where it's not really his fault.
Yeah.
You don't want to put all the blame on him where he can't really help it.
Okay, so I think we have quite a few solutions here that we can kind of evaluate and talk about a little bit. I definitely really think that rearranging my classroom so that Billy can sit near the door is a really good idea, but when I do that, do you think that it would be a good idea to just not, instead of just focusing on Billy and making one student move out of their seat, kind of just implementing a new classroom seating arrangement so that Billy's not singled out and the entire class gets to kind of move around? It makes it like interesting. I know when I was a student, I always was like, oh yay, a new seat, something new.
Like you said, the last thing you want to do is single out a student to where he feels uncomfortable or embarrassed, because that may lead to, you know, the problem getting even worse.
Because I still have to figure out if it's on Billy as to why he's late, or if it's maybe more of a home issue or a transportation issue or something like that. And then the tardy policy that you have in your class, I really just don't think that that's really going to get anywhere with Billy. He seems to not really care that he gets in trouble for being late, so I don't really think that that's going to be the best option for him as to changing this behavior.
That may come back to another issue as well, as like if it's like a negative disciplinary action, then he gets upset because it's not his fault, and then it doesn't really help.
Yeah, and then even if he is on time, he might just be still hanging out in the hallway because he doesn't want to come to Miss Macy's class because she has a terrible tardy policy. I really think that it's important though to let Billy know, like you said, that it's his responsibility to let me know, which is why I think that the parent-teacher conference will be nice, because like I said, he's just not giving me any information as to why, and I'm never mad at him or yelling at him when he comes to the room late. I just kind of like acknowledge him and it's like just kind of like go sit quietly at your desk and like wait for further instruction, because it's really hard for me like when I'm already like in the middle of teaching something for me to stop and catch him back up. So, and then after class he always just kind of darts out of the room. So
well, with a parent-teacher conference, I would probably make it to where it's not, you may not want to actually have Billy in there with you when you're talking to the parents, because he may not open up as much, and then they may not open up as much if it's, you know, if he's in there. So maybe make it a separate situation.
That's a really good idea. And I also think during the parent-teacher conference, I'll have an opportunity to, if it is a transportation issue or if it's an issue going on at home, I can have that opportunity to establish that relationship with the parent and let them know that I'm here for them and their student. And I can offer them resources like the school bus, or there's some other resources in the community that if they needed to get their car worked on or needed to borrow a car, there's several churches in the area that do programs like that. So maybe having those resources and talking to them about that will help get Billy to school on time.
I agree with making establishing the family relationship. That's really important too.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I really think that with the solutions we have here, I'm going to rearrange my classroom, the whole class setting. I'm going to plan that parent-teacher conference and have that sit-down time with his parents and really try to hopefully figure out the problem, pinpoint the problem exactly as to why he's late. But I'm going to have that parent-teacher conference, and then I'm going to do that within the next 2 weeks. Would you be willing to follow up with me and see how the arrangement seating has kind of helped my classroom and see what kind of ideas I get from the parent-teacher conference?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we can talk about more solutions then. But I really appreciate your time. I really think that Billy's going to really, I can't think of the word, succeed from this implementation of this program and
Yeah,
these solutions.
I really hope you see some improvement, and
Yeah.
if not, we can get back together and,
Yeah.
try to figure out some other solutions to
Okay.
maybe get this settled.
Awesome. Well, I will see you in 2 weeks.
All right,
Thank you so much.